This is the book of First Thessalonians, chapter 5 and verse 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Call halal yamla, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Hakodash, Shalom Lahayim. Giving all praises to Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit, peace to the gods, double honors unto the elder apostles, elder bishops, and the head elders of all the camps of Great Millstone, GMS, who do well. Salutations, peace, and blessings to the tabernacle of David, the predestined spirits of election scattered abroad. This is your brother Tazapanya of the Great Millstone, Washington, D.C. camp. Adawan Ratazah, Lord willing. This spiritual commentary, digital epistle, is edifying to the elect. So as you can see in the topic that I made, you know, Jake, man, you know, with the rap lyrics, you know, Meek Mill and shit. This is what y'all been waiting for. You ready? You know, the dreams and nightmares. But yeah, man, you feel me? No Meek Mill, but in the scriptures, this is what we've been waiting for. Is you ready? This devil Nero was about to come out swinging on some Mike Tyson in 1988, man. Word up. He is not playing. So without further ado, I'm going to let this play. It's only about 9 minutes long. All right? Let's get it.
That all hell must be paid if they don't release the hostages.
Well, do I have to define it for you? Look, all hell will break out. If those hostages aren't back, I don't want to hurt your negotiation. If they're not back by the time I get into office, all hell will break out in the Middle East. And it will not be good for Hamas, and it will not be good, frankly, for anyone. All hell will.
Notice how he, damn, I want to let it play out. But notice how he said Middle East, which is a false connotation. It's West Asia, right? But the point is, he didn't say Palestine. He didn't say, he said West Asia, so-called Middle East, which shows you Armageddon, the mountain of troops, is preparing the way for the Third War, World War III, to start off as a conventional war and then to climax with the fuel of fire.
Breakout. I don't have to say anymore, but that's what it is. And they should have given him back a long time. They should have never taken him. But I tell this, I don't want to hurt the negotiation. If the deal isn't done before I take office, which is now going to be 2 weeks, all hell will break out in the Middle East. Okay? Thank you, Mr. President. You've done a great job. Thank you.
Can you tell us what you said to Prime Minister Netanyahu in your call on Saturday?
Yeah.
Since your election?
Well, I'm not going to comment on the Putin question, but I will comment on Bibi. We had a very good talk. We discussed what is going to happen, and I'll be very available.
The fact that he said Bibi, I have to say something, and not Benjamin Netanyahu. He knows that Netanyahu is Bibi, what is it, Milenkowski. He knows he's not no, yo, this shit is crazy, okay? Yo, you got Nero saying Bibi instead of actually giving him his title, son. You can't make this shit up. He knows who the true children of Israel is, man. Trust me, Nero definitely knows it.
On January 20th, and we'll see. As you know, I gave warning that if these hostages aren't back home by that date, all hell's going to break out. And very strong.
Mr. Netanyahu, about a ceasefire deal, you said if they don't have one by the time you take office, there will be hell today.
We're going to see what happens.
Have you spoken to President?
They better let the hostages come back soon.
So when President Trump takes over on January 20th, he's got a situation in the Middle East is simmering. A lot of people are waiting for him. Maybe Netanyahu is. There's a report today in Axios that Joe Biden discussed plans to strike Iran's nuclear sites if Tehran was speeding towards a bomb. I heard they are speeding towards a bomb. Do you look at that? Do your sources say the same thing?
Well, here's the issue. I mean, the Iranians have a decision to make. And look at what happened to them. Hamas and Hezbollah decimated. Hezbollah was the organization that they created to protect Iran from Israel. And that organization also has got major problems. They've lost their strategic platform in Syria. They are defenseless at home because Israel stripped away their air defense system. They can't even protect their leaders in Tehran, to be frank about it, much less their nuclear systems and their rockets and missiles. So what's their choice? What they want to do more than anything else is preserve their regime. They've always thought a nuclear weapon would do that. They believe Saddam Hussein would still be in power today, and so would Gaddafi if they had pursued a nuclear weapon successfully. Are they now going to pursue that and get there in a matter of months? That remains to be seen. I think our intelligence agencies are watching it like a hawk. I know where Prime Minister Netanyahu is. He wants to eliminate this threat. He sees this as a strategic opportunity. They're defenseless. They're not going to be able to retaliate very much because they've taken down a lot of their rockets and missiles, and they can do more of that with a strike that goes after their nuclear system. I know he's talking to President Trump and their advisors here, and likely they're working through options, hopefully together.
But this is also when you think back on what is going to happen on the 20th of January, we're going to get somebody back who's resetting American dominance in the world for the American people. And it's going to be important. You know, I remember, Kayleigh, when the last State of the Union in February of 2020, when the president stood in the well of the House and he made the comment, if you attack an American, your life is forfeit.
So, General, as we're going to weave in some of the incidents that have happened over the last year, attacks around the world, how do we stop this? Is there something we could do in the Middle East to stop what's happening in the West?
Well, certainly at the foundation of all of this is an ideology that perpetuates it. And they have a big idea, and it's difficult to defeat an idea like that, given the roots that exist in some of these countries to help fester and grow that idea.
And you're going to see that with this reset, and I would call it an American reset, that you're going to see on the 20th of January. And then when it comes to the Middle East, people should understand, whether you like it or not, you're both going to fear and respect the United States of America. And it's just not going to be in the Middle East. It's going to be globally as well. So the sooner this administration packs its bags, walks out the door on the 20th, I think it's going to be a lot better for America.
No doubt. And you mentioned the words matter. Our adversaries heard the words of President Trump. Actions matter too. And I mean, this was, as I pointed out, one of the deadliest Islamic attacks inspired by on our soil. And what did Biden do today? He gave that medal to Liz Cheney. Our own Brit Hume said this is repulsive. That investigation, speaking of the J6 committee, was done by a committee, all of whose members were chosen by Nancy Pelosi. It was produced like a TV show. There was no cross-examination of witnesses. The media fell for it. It was utterly one-sided, a show trial. So why today? I mean, our adversaries are watching, General Kellogg. Does Biden do this instead of addressing the American people, put out a picture from the Situation Room, show that you're engaged? I think that's what President Trump would have done.
Yeah, Kayleigh, but what you're seeing right now is basically our allies and our adversaries as well. They've kind of written this administration off. And you can see that with the respect that President Trump is getting from allies and adversaries as well.
And that was destroyed. The Trump administration dismantled it in Africa, in Iraq and Syria. Now, the fact is that there are hotspots around the world. There's still radical Islamist organizations in 40 countries. And the hotspots, fortunately, are not in the United States. These are organizations that exist. They have networks. They do planned and premeditated attacks, and they're taking place in Africa, in Mali, in Kenya, in Niger, in Somalia, in Indonesia, in Southeast Asia, and obviously in Pakistan and Afghanistan, where there is a rise of and their desire to conduct attacks outside of Afghanistan. We've already seen it in Iran and in Europe, and certainly the United States is trying to keep its eye on that. But as you pointed out earlier in the show, we don't have our eyes and ears. We closed our multiple CIA bases, and we certainly have no one on the ground to keep an eye on that threat. But nonetheless, the United States is not one of the hotspots where radical Islam extremism is on the rise. It is in some other places in the world, and we have to maintain our vigilance. I'm not saying we ease up on anything. We've got good intelligence. We have good counterterrorism organizations that we've put together after 9/11, where we're coordinating these activities and watching them. But here, we don't have networks that we're dealing against. We don't have an organization that we're dealing against. We're dealing with a lone wolf who's very hard to penetrate that person, an individual on the internet that's getting more and more radicalized and then makes the decision to and use violence against his own people. That's very difficult to discern that.
This preemptive strike against Iran, apparently many sources say Biden did not greenlight it. They don't expect to attack Iranian nuclear sites. But nevertheless, I mean, the fact that it was even discussed, maybe wait for the professionals to come in, professionals like you, General Kellogg.
Well, Haley, thanks for having me tonight. It's good to be with you. And before we go, look, I want to send my condolences to those we lost down in New Orleans, the dead and the wounded, and also the great first responders who we saw films of the police running towards the gunfire immediately. It was a great example of American heroism at work. Look, these are just words. Nothing's going to happen with Iran. They're not going to do anything. This administration won't do anything in the near term. You know, words as much as weapons do shape history. And what we're seeing a president who talks a lot, but doesn't have the will to do anything about it. And it shapes history in a negative way. Remember, he's the same individual who said when the Russians were getting ready to invade egregiously into Ukraine, said, well, maybe a minor incursion will be okay. Well, Putin's definition of a minor incursion is significantly different than mine.
You know, General, the other thing would be Netanyahu's not going to ask for much. Just let him do it instead of getting in his way or tipping off the Iranians. That was how bad the relationship seemed to be between the Biden administration and Netanyahu. He's going to have a much better relationship with this administration. It's going to be quite interesting because this is a historic opportunity, as you repeatedly have told us.
All right, so as you can see, right, they are having talks of before even Nero gets in, that supposedly, even though they're saying that they don't think sleepy, creepy Jim Crow Snow Joe will do it, that they'll have a preemptive strike against Iran. Oh man, if that happens, but we'll see. This is why we're watchmen. And I'm gonna get a couple of scriptures, right? But we are going to, man, oh man. Not only is Nero Trump, right, doing a 180 on, I'm against CBDCs and cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. Now he's pro-crypto. His whole administration is damn near pro-crypto. And he's giving more talks of all hell breaking loose in West Asia, the so-called Middle East. These are the two main prophecies that we're looking for. The chip, eventually, with the digital currency being your vehicle of buying and selling, right? And then the destruction, starting with the least of the flock, which is your small hats out there, right? BB and them, bringing America involved, and Iran, whose ally is Russia, okay, and also China and all of them involved, man. This thing, we can literally see the revelation of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah, by this year. And I speak as a man. I'm not in any order saying that that's what's going to happen. But what I'm saying is, according to 2nd Esdras 9:1, let's go get that. Then I want to get another precept in 2nd Esdras, and I'm going to go to the comment board. Because, the way this thing is heating up, this is why all this celebrity idol worship is at an all-time high. Constantly of who fucking who, and whose baby is who, and who pregnant by who, and who committed adultery on who, and who's getting pictured with who, and it's crazy. This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. What are we using as the measuring stick? The measuring tool, the measuring rod, the Bible, specifically the prophecies within the Bible. All right? And what time? All right, the time that you are living. And we happen to be in the time of Jacob's trouble. Even Elder Apostle records like, we in it. Now, it hasn't got to a point where it's seriously affecting your lifestyle. But hey, look, tell that to people living in New York City with the congestion pricing. If who is at the bottom class of the financial spectrum, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American? What if you live in the city? What we call Manhattan. And every time you get there, when it used to cost you $5 to get to work and back, now it's costing you $25, $30. You don't think that's going to significantly affect your life, man? You see what I'm saying? Yo, 2025 gonna be a hell of a year, man. It says, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, what signs? In Matthew 24, Yahweh Shai told us the signs. What Nero just give us was a rumor of war. If the hostages from Hamas in Hebrew actually means violence, okay? That the so-called Palestinians, because they're really mingled people of Ishmael. All right, you probably got some Esau in there. You probably got some, a little Jake in there mixed in. So on and so forth, right? That they have Babylonian, American hostages there. If they don't release them by January 20th, then he's saying all hell about to break loose, man. Right? And that's just one of the signs. Right? You go to Matthew, you read all up and down what's supposed to be happening. There was just an earthquake that killed people in Tibet today. Earthquakes in diverse places. So how many of the signs just happened today, man? Notice it says, which I have told thee before. How you gonna know if it's before if you never read about it? This is why the scriptures say, seek the Lord while he may be found. And not only is he found in the scriptures, but you have to have a correct doctrine and interpretation of the scriptures. And the only way you can do that is from a teacher, from a preacher, right? The book of Romans speaks on that. Verse 2, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time. Notice it said very same time, right? Wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. How did the highest make the world? The highest is who first? Yahweh, all right? Who is the heavenly Father, right? He used who to make the world? His only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, with the rest of the angels. So Yahweh Shai with the rest of the angels is the ones that's going to visit the world on behalf of Yahweh, right? Verse 3 even talks about it. Therefore, when thou shalt be seen earthquakes, it just gave one, and uproars of people in the world, and there's uproars all over the place, man. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Right. So now we're going to go to 2nd Esdras, I think it's 16. This is the book of 2nd Esdras. No, it's 15. It's 15. I got to find it. Salakia. 2nd Esdras. Yeah, chapter 15, verse 28. And it reads, behold, a horrible vision. So this vision that Ezra got was horrible, man. And the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia. So remember, when in Revelation, when you look up the word dragon is drakon, which goes back to the Greek general, all right, where you get the term draconian measures, which is showing that a harsh punishment, jail time or death for small infractions, right? So when you go into that word, it also says beast-like nature, like basically unbearable. So these are going to be unbearable peoples of Arabia. And remember, Arabia is the land of Arabia. But when you go into the word Arab, it means the mingled people, So basically, too, anybody that is of the Mohammedan, all right, religion, all right, as well as the actual descendant of Ishmael, all right. I think it's Yash Ma'ala or Yashab Ma'ala. All right. Heard of the power. Going on, it says, shall come out with many chariots. All right. So with an army and their military technology, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth. So they're gonna move swiftly. All right. And Thawada, the Athenian lawmaker Draco in Athens goes back to Greece. All right. Yahweh Shemashah Brakatah, Tazadakta. All right. it says that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. So when these so-called Muslims, Islamists, Mohammedans, whatever you want to call them, when they come together, everybody on the world is going to fear them. And they even say, I've seen statistics where they said that there's actually more Muslims in the world now than there's Christians, like some 2.1 billion to the 1.2 or 1.9 Christians. So you got to understand, no matter what, even if they're not so-called extreme, people of that type of fake faith, right? The fake faith of Islam is going to side and sympathize with the extremists based on, because remember, it was all created by Esau Edom, the false prophet, the Catholic Church. When you really do the history, right? Do the research. Verse 30 is the point. It says also the Carmenians. What is ancient Carmenian Persia, which are now known in modern day times as the Iranians. Okay, it says raging in wrath. What will make the Iranians rage in wrath? Could it be a preemptive strike on their nuclear plants? Whatever. We will see. But something is going to make these Iranians rage in wrath, according to the scriptures. It says, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood. And I like to bring out Japheth or Japheth, one of the sons of Noah. All right. The Japhites being your Polynesians, you know what I'm saying, of that area, Samoans, Tahitians, Fijians, New Zealanders, Hawaiians, so on and so forth. They do a game, and they were the original Greeks, okay? The Minoans, Escrucians, and so on and so forth. And then Esau took over their land, and that's when they used their ship sailor skills to go to that part of the world. But they have a game, especially for the young men, to become a man, their rite of passage, that they have a captive boar, which is a cousin of the pig, because they love them some swan, boy. Them Japhites love them some swan. Trust me, I've been around a couple of them. Anybody that know them know what's up. All right, spam and all that bullshit, right? But they do a thing where a captive boar, they let it out in the wild and they chase it all day. You feel me? And if the boy catch the boar, he is now like a part of the actual manhood, and then they cook it for the family and it's food for like weeks and shit like that. But showing you that it could take a whole day, you know what I mean, to capture a wild boar. So what it's saying is that they're gonna go forth like a wild boar. They're gonna be doing things. Could be these unaliving vests that who knows? You know what I'm saying? That it's like they chasing something that they can't catch. And these T attack, who knows what's going on? Could be that, right? It says, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them. So they're going to join battle with the rest of their Muslim brothers, because the Carmenians, the Persians, the Iranians are Elamites. There's actually more genetic similarity with East India than they do with people in Saudi Arabia and the such. Okay, look up Persians and Indian genetic similarity. You'll see what's up, because Elam is actually Persia, but they expanded past the Indus Valley. Okay, when you in the Ganges River and things of that nature actually when you go into it. All right, they even look different. But anyway, it says, shall join battle with them and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. What's modern day Assyria? America. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand. Okay, let's look. It has a precept here in Isaiah 13. Let's go to Isaiah 13 real quick, see what it's talking about. Isaiah 13 and verse... Nah, that don't even line up with that, because that's talking about after the destruction. So Salakia, let me go back. All right. Where is that? Yeah. It says the dragons shall have the upper hand. So they're going, whether it's orchestrated or not, they're going to be in a position where the leverage is in their hand. It seems like they're winning. Remembering their nature, right? Notice it said the dragons is going to remember their nature. The dragons was referring to who? The Arabians, showing you that's Ishmael, because the nature of Ishmael was prophesied by Abraham, all right, as being a wild man in the book of Genesis. Okay, so a bunch of wild tactics, however that may look like, is going to be happening, all right, from these people of this false religion of Islam. Okay, it says, and if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them, then these shall be troubled and keep silence through their power and shall flee. Right. So that giving you the example of the wild boar. You're gonna feel like you should catch them and then they're gonna flee like a wild boar. So something is going to make these Iranians have that great wrath, and they're going to join up with the rest, and it's going to be a coalition. Because you got right now, remember, Protestants, Catholics, right? Catholics and all Protestant denominations, they don't agree with each other. For the most part, they're against each other. But in the Islamic faith, you got Shia and Sunni, and then you got your Nation of Islam, and then, you know, Moorish Science Temple, and these are from Jake, but they probably gonna ride with them too, because I'm seeing it now. With this whole, notice they was talking about the New Orleans tea attack. I reposted one time when that off grid with Adrian and what's the name? Oh, it's an Afro-American that did it, trying to add Jake into that. You see what I'm saying? No matter where, this is how you know it's a proverb and a byword. So you could be from fucking Somalia, but your parents was from Somalia, but you was born in America, and then Esau could call you an African American when you a complete Hamite. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, oh, he's an Afro-American that did the tea attack. And I was looking in the comments and I posted, I'm like, yo, you see where they going with this? And then today, I posted with the African Diaspora News Channel, how they were saying that they trying to basically demonize Farrakhan and the whole Nation of Islam. Now, who under the 501c3 tax exemption status, right? I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but it's going to come full circle. Is located under Islam or Muslim. IUIC. IUIC is the what? The most out there popular so-called BHI group, extremist group, according to Southern Poverty Law Center. You see? So you all at the same, you see all this going on at the same time. You got the Valley of Yahweh Shaphat, which is the Levant region, the Arabian desert, right? Beginning for Armageddon, Harmageddon, the Mountain of Troops. At the same time, you got, I just poked Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, which is the company that created XRP, which is the cryptocurrency that is working with every central bank and giving the infrastructure digitally to create a central bank digital currency that already has a microchip compatible with Ripple technology, aka XRP. Just had a dinner with Nero last night. All right, all at the same time while they're trying to link all of you Israelites in the truth, whether it's 100% truth or not, it really don't matter at this point, with Muslim, getting you ready for the persecution. So all of these things is coming together. If you can't see the prudent man foreseeth the evil, but hideth himself. But the simple go on and are punished, man. All right, so I'm gonna get like one or two precepts from the brother, Dawada. And yeah, so his name is BB Milikowski, Dawada. All right, I'm gonna get one more, well, that wasn't a precept, but let's see, all roads, yeah, definitely are going to what's the name? Go back up real quick, Salakia. Damn, my battery about to die already. This is a good one right here. Ezekiel chapter 12, verse 23. And it reads, tell them therefore, thus saith Yahweh, I will make this proverb to cease, And they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but say unto them, the days are at hand. And what are we doing? Prophesying that the days are at hand. And the effect of every vision. All right, verse 24. For thou shalt be no more any vain vision, meaning useless, futile, or flattering, meaning trying to get on your good side, buttering up, as Jake would say, glazing. That's the new one that Jake's saying. Divination within the house of Israel. Verse 25. For I am Yahweh, I will speak, and the word that I will speak shall come to pass. You think the Lord is going to come down on America all and everybody going to hear the words of the Lord? No, man. He's doing it through his prophets. Not just going to hear this voice like Simba's father, Mufasa, with this big face in the clouds. He's speaking through his prophets, man. It says, it shall be no more prolonged, for in your days, O rebellious house. Remember in the Torah, the Tawrah, it says rebellion is as a sin as witchcraft. And it also says in the Tawrah that I suffer not a witch to live. So the Lord is getting ready to do judgment. It's going to start at the house of God, which means you Israelites that know that you are the seed of Israel, but you don't want to fall under the true leaders, and you don't want to teach the correct doctrine, and you want to do your own thing. You're self-willed. There's a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof is death. It says, will I say with the word, and will perform it. Ooh, when the Lord performs it, ooh-wee, it's gonna be nasty work out here. You heard? It's gonna be nasty work. You heard? I'm gonna leave it at that, man. I'm gonna leave it at that. Hey, he gonna hit the ground running. He gonna jet off like a 100-meter Olympic race when Usain Bolt, the Benjamite, hit that gun, and he be in the back, and all of a sudden, phew, like a bullet, and he laughing, looking at his opponents while they over here stressing, huffing and puffing. Yeah, you feel me? That's how it's about to go down. He is not playing. Because remember, 2016, I remember this is when I first woke up. I was in the truth a couple of months. He came into office, people was all tight. He beat Hillary Clinton. And literally that week in January, them Tomahawk missiles with them videos was going to, what was it, Syria or some shit like that. And they got the camera on the ship, on the Navy ship. And them shits was shoo, 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 going crazy. He not this ain't no poker face. He not bluffing. This is an Edomite, man. And he gonna show his horns, man. Revelation 12:12. He gonna come down with great wrath. You heard? Alright, so with that, man, I'm gonna say Kolo Yabashim Yahushai. Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahushai. Yabashim Yahushai Brakatam, to the Akim that tuned in and the very few Aquath. On to the next one. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.